Obviously still, excited about a big win and just really proud of our players and really everybody involved, from our fans to our coaches. I thought our coaching staff did a tremendous job, to our fans, the student section, the band, cheerleaders. So anyway, it was a great day for ULM. It was a great day, and really how it happened. You get down 10-0 off the jump. You've got a pick six early, and momentum swings to their side really fast, and then they're able to add on a field goal. 10-0 at the end of the first quarter, and then we just kept playing. And we kept playing, and then it's 10-7. Keep playing, then it's 14-10. We blocked the field goal right before the half, and halftime score, we've been able to recover right there and really weathered the storm. And something that we really challenged and really worked on was coming out of the second half, and defense getting that fumble, that forced fumble with Noah Flemings. And then the offense being able to cash it in, I think 4 plays later. And defense gets stopped, and then we go able to score again. So just really the growth, and you go back to the week before to UTEP where we had the opportunity twice to end the game, with the ball in our hands offensively. And we didn't do that, but we were able to do that this game. So I think our team's really we've grown, we've developed. We've still got a long way to go, but, what a big win, an opportunity to end the 15-year streak, to bring, that to an end and really bring – that feeling and that win and that pride back of ending that for our alumni and for our fans. So overall, just excited to get the win and ready to grow and get better this week and get ready for Northwestern. Questions?
Coach, you talked about just this would be game changing. Get past that narrative of you owning football and break that streak. Just at what point in that game did you feel the energy different with the guys, just the fire and the plays they were making to battle back and hang on and get a tough win?
Really, it showed up all week in practice. We've every week we've gotten better. You go back and you go from week 1 St. Francis to Alabama to the open week to UTEP. Just our focus has been the same from day one. Is, hey, we're worried about us. It's about us. It's about us. And really every day last week in practice, man, just our players' focus and preparation really each week has grown. And that's the focus, is to grow it each week, to improve all the different areas, whether it's 4-minute, 2-minute, backed up, whatever it is, before the half, coming out of the half, all the things that you're always trying to clean up, because your goal really is to be peaking around week 8. If you're going to make a run, you have to be peaking. You just got to stay on that journey. A lot of things happen week to week. College football, wins are hard to come by. And, to be able to get that one right there at that moment, to get us the conference opener, haven't beaten them in those 15 years now. That's over. We're 1-0 in conference. We're 3-1. And now, hey, there's a lot of things to clean up from the Arkansas State game that we've got to build on, really going into this next game.
All right, new challenge this week with Northwestern, obviously a Big Ten team. Size, that's the
There's
biggest.
100%. If you look at them defensively, their defensive front stands out. They rotate 8 guys up front. They're all long. They're all twitchy. Their change of direction is really good. Their inside linebackers are tough, physical. They like to play their 33 and 37, who are really tough, smart, savvy inside linebackers. They've got great length at safety. Their field safety is 6'4", 210. Their boundary safety is a 6'2", 220 guy. Their corner's 6'1", 200 pounds. They've got length and they've got speed. And they rotate 8 guys up front. They want to really keep their shell, their second and third levels the same. You see those guys in there probably 90% of the game, but you see their front 4 roll. And that's the difference. They're big, they're fast, they're physical. They look like a Big 12 defense. And they've played really well. Then you look on their offensive line, both tackles are 6'7", 345, 335. Their interior offensive linemen are Big 12 offensive linemen. Tight ends, 6'5", 6'6", really physical, can run and catch. And they've got 2 6'4" receivers on the outside and a really fast inside receiver, number 17, that leads them in catches. Quarterback Stone transferred in from SMU, really good player. They've got good speed and power at the running back position. So, you're looking at a Big 12 team, a big, physical, and fast in the skill position. So, obviously, we've got our hands full, but this is the next game. It's not about who we play. It's how we prepare. It's how we continue to build this program, how we continue to clean up all the departments, within this team that got to continue to get better.
Interesting dynamic with their temporary stadium. What are you hearing what it's going to look like, what's going to sound like with 12,000 in there?
When you watch a UCLA game, it looks like a lot of their games, Western Illinois, they've had several games at home. So you can see what you need to see. It looks like it's packed. It looks like it's nice. It's right there off the water. It's, we're going to hold around 12,000 people. So, it's still the turf and the surrounding environment on the film looks really nice. It looks like we're going to be in a great, loud environment with a team that has a lot of pride and tradition. And really, they've always been known for their physicality and their toughness and their discipline. They're coached really well. They're keyed up. They've got great eyes. They don't false key. They don't miss. They're coached really well, and they play hard.
Another opportunity, obviously, 2 times already, the last 2 seasons of playing teams this caliber. Guys' mentality heading in, knowing the physicality is going to bring, what they're going to feel, what they're going to see as far as speed and strength. These guys are mentally prepared. What's it look like in practice this week?
Well, we've just got to continue to fight to be the best version of ourselves. I think, go back and look at St. Francis. I think we got a lot better if you looked at this team really the last 2 weeks with UTEP and Arkansas State. If you look at those last 2 weeks, I think you've seen a team that's gotten a lot better. We're starting to get healthy. Having Buck back, we expect Nick Trujillo to be back this week. That should be confirmed in the next couple of days. He looks great. He's been out there practicing for 2 weeks. That'll be a big addition to get him back. So at the end of the day, man, if we can just continue to grow the chemistry and the culture and the bond, and it's not something, it's more to that than it is X's and O's. X's and O's and scheme and all that's a big deal. But I think you saw a team that fought together. We didn't care about the score. We wanted to play the game. We wanted to play the next snap. We wanted to get it to the fourth quarter, and we wanted to be able to impose our will. And that's kind of our mantra, and that's our philosophy, and that's kind of our staple, and we were able to do that. We got banged up a little bit. It was a very physical game. I thought our guys flew around. We were very physical. We were tough. We were relentless. A lot of bumps and bruises. I think we'll get some confirmation on some other guys, right now that we really don't know that we should know early this week. But overall, we're healthy. But football, we lost a couple guys there, throughout this game. But hopefully it won't be as bad as we think it is.
You talked about focusing on yourself and being the best version of yourself. Last week was Arkansas State, nearly 400 yards of offense. And we saw that. You talked about the progress of week 1 of the execution. This team, the offense. Talk about their execution and how they progressed now and into another big week.
You take away, the 1 turnover. So let's take that away, and we know that was a big one, a costly one. 3rd downs, 7 for 14. That's 50%. 40% is winning. 45% is championship. Anything over 45% is chance to be elite, and you should have opportunities to win the game. Defensively, Arkansas State was 4 for 16, 27% on 3rd down. So that was a big deal. But the thing that hurt, though, they were 4 for 6 on 4th down. We didn't have any 4th down attempts, so we didn't get in that category. Red zone, we were 3 for 3 with 3 touchdowns in the red zone. They were 2 for 4 with 2 field goals and a blocked field goal. So there's the separation, and then we had 3 takeaways on defense. So that's the formula, for winning. And we've got to play complementary football where all 3 phases are fitting off each other, and we've got to continue to get to that point.
Coach, just want to talk a little bit about the success you guys have had in the trenches on both sides at this point in the year. Offensively, the league, the Sun Belt, having allowed only 2 sacks, run game's top 5. Defensively, tied for the 3rd in sacks. You guys had 6 this past Saturday for Arkansas State. What are those 2 units doing so well right now that's led to that success, especially because you've had to rotate in a couple
if you look at our defensive line, I think just we're playing with great pad level. We're able to strike, and we're using our hands really well and extending and keeping our eye discipline while maintaining our gap. I think our interior D linemen from Jaden Hamlin to Cliff Mosley, to Tay Woody, to Jerome Sims, we've had multiple guys to Marion really take the steps necessary to hold down their gaps. And then if you look at the edges, from Cavante Wells to Dylan Howe to Billy Pullen to Jaden Callender to Dan Knutson to Davin Anderson, to James Smith. So we've got some good depth there, and they're very competitive, and they're all bought into their role. We've got starters and we've got co-starters, and that's really bought into it. I think our inside linebacker play has been outstanding overall, from Noah Flemings to Cedric Langs to Marcus Ross to Kelby Holmes, Tyrese Hopkins. All those guys have done a great job of what we really wanted to improve on, and being able to stop the run. And then being able to, you have to earn the opportunity to rush the passer. You do that by winning first and second down. We earned those opportunities, and we cashed 6 of them in. We also had 11 tackles for loss. So to me, I felt like we dominated the line of scrimmage defensively. Offensively, their defensive line and their linebackers, they did a good job. They were able to, we were in a battle. They were stoning us early. We didn't really get in a rhythm. But as the game wore on, we continued to fight, and we were able to get in a rhythm. And it all starts with, our offensive line, from Fish to J. Mick, really to A.J., to Q McBroom, to Reese Steele, and then Kaleem and Nate Green come in. So our tight ends, Julian and Rylan Green, I thought if you really watched that film, our tight ends and receivers did a phenomenal job of blocking on the perimeter. I thought they did a great job of really fitting on their man and really covering them up and being more physical on the perimeter. And I thought that was a big key to a lot of our outside runs. So, as long as we can continue to get better and try to win both trenches up front, then we've got a chance.
Another money game, as the interim AD, do you ever see a day when you only have one of these on the schedule, or is it just the case where ULM is at this point? Or the fact you try to get 2 of these games earlier in the season so you don't have them late into a conference?
To me, it's all about the matchups, and we're not, we like the money games. We like playing in the big games. Obviously, sometimes the outcome isn't what you want, but I think you can grow a lot from those games. You go and you can get exposed a lot in those games, but as long as they're early, anything after week 4, week 5, I think it's detrimental to your team. If you're playing a Power 4 team or an SEC team week 10, 9, 10, or 11, I think that's not a good idea, is the way I'll put it, because you have an opportunity. If you're in a conference race, and we know what college football is, and depth is a problem a lot of time. It's the survival of the fittest at the end and who's left standing. And rosters are different now, and the numbers are different. And you have to protect your roster. But, you play somebody, you're in a race there at the end, and you play an Auburn and you get beat up, then you really hurt your chances for what? Because of, in my opinion, poor scheduling.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.